To get the pitcher plants, you normally would have to plant a pitcher pod, but that means you'd have to sit here and plant them yourself. Same story if you also want to get the torch flowers, because villagers won't actually plant them. Hello there, Ray here, and I'm designing an automatic farm for everything in the game of Minecraft. I wanted villagers to plant the new torch flower seeds as well as the pitcher plant pods. So I made a bug report from Minecraft saying villagers should be able to plant these new seeds, and Mojang actually added it into the game. So I updated my farms right away to have villagers do all the boring planting. It works by collecting the stuff in the chest by having a hopper point into that, and then above it we're going to have our dirt where we're going to grow the crops on. Then on these two sides here we're going to have dispensers which are going to be bone milling it. We'll have the composter for the villager to be a farmer over here. Then we're going to place in a slab over here which will eventually hold the water. Then we're going to place in a block that is going to be holding the repeater, which is going to send a redstone signal to a piston, which is originally coming from this observer clock with two observers pointing into each other. We're going to place in a full block here with the redstone, and this is going to send the signal down to both these dispensers. Each dispenser is going to be fed with bone meal using some hoppers, as well as some chests which you can use to store the bone meal. And this is where you put the bone meal, or you can get it automatically put in by using my bone meal farm. I have a whole playlist of them, but I would recommend using my moss one. And with them connected, it will make this farm infinitely automatic. Now you want to come in and continue the power going in this direction. Then after this solid block, we're going to come over and place a solid block right beside it with the redstone dust on top. This is going to be powering the sticky piston, which is going to be moving at a slightly slower speed than the initial observer clock. Now we just come in here and place in a gate, and the gate's used to crush the plants which are growing atop this farmland. But we don't want the farmland to dry out, so we're going to come on the backside over here, and we're going to place in a block over here, and we're going to waterlog this slab here, and this is going to put water close enough to the farmland to keep it moist. So now we have all the working parts. We just need to have a villager in here. We're going to keep the villager from walking away by placing in some glass like so. We're also going to place some glass in the corners here so the items don't clip through, and we're also going to use this side to let the villager come in. So just by connecting this up with the ground, the villager will eventually try to come over here to work in the workstation, or you can move over using a boat. But once they get close, you can go ahead and push them in and close this off and make sure they turn into a farmer. Once they become a farmer, you can push them over to the farmland part, and then you can go ahead and stack up and close that part off as well. And the villager will continue to be a farmer. Now just make sure the dirt is farmland and you're ready to close off the villager with some blocks above it. And now we can give the villager some crops through this corner over here. So I'll give it some pitcher pods as well as torch flower seeds. And you can see the farmer will automatically pick them up and start planting them. Once they're planted down, the two dispensers will bone mill them. For the pitcher plants, it takes 2 cycles of bone milling before it grows completely, where the torch flowers will grow up instantly. Now we can go ahead and clean up the blocks that we placed in here, as well as the dirt block here and here. Now we can check the chest here to see all the items it's producing. Once in a while, the farmer will plant a pod a bit late and the piston will break it off, but it's quite rare. As you can see, the villager almost did a whole stack and only missed one. And unlike before where I had a design for each of the different plants, here this guy can actually do both types in the same setup, which is great if you're trying to make an infinitely automatic farm for both torch flowers and pitcher plants, because you can hook this farm up directly up to my sniffer farm, where sniffers will sit down and sniff out one of the 2 different types of seeds, which get collected by this water here, sent all the way to the end here, and eventually get collected by the burrow. But you could send this water stream directly to the villager, where he would automatically convert them into plants. Now see how I design an automatic farm for every item in the game of Minecraft with this playlist here. If you're able to support my crazy goals, I do have a Patreon. If not, just leave a like or share this with another Minecrafter. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.